Good morning. Welcome to AVNewsCast.com.
Listen how you say that with such energy. Good morning.
I don't know if that's sarcastic or what.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody?
I don't have my headphones on. I'm good.
You
How
good?
are you? Oh, yeah, I'm much better.
We missed you yesterday.
We did.
Honey, I missed the planet yesterday.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're back.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back. Hey, yesterday the California Supreme Court had an unusual decision, okay? And it had to do with Alzheimer's patients, all right? There have been many instances where caregivers have been beaten up, injured, stabbed, whatever, by Alzheimer's patients.
Yeah.
All right? And then, of course, they either sue their employer or sue the Alzheimer patient.
And they forgot.
And the California Supreme Court ruled that you can't do that. Okay?
What you talking about?
They ruled in their 5-2 decision yesterday that employers and or the patient have no liability to any harm that a caregiver receives. As a result,
I got to hear it all the way through because it sounds asinine.
here's the thing. If you are a caregiver, okay, and you sign up to take care of an Alzheimer's patient, okay?
You're supposed to know the risk.
Yeah, you know that.
You know the
when you
risks.
took it.
Right. You already know the risks, okay?
So maybe suit is a bad term. Maybe work comp is called in.
Work comp you can receive,
Okay.
okay? It all and this is kind of weird, but it all resulted from a woman that was taking care of an Alzheimer's patient, and the caregiver was in the kitchen doing something in the sink, and the patient came up behind the caregiver and grabbed a knife and proceeded to hack her up.
Oh!
Wow.
Okay.
And she couldn't get away?
She did get away, but she was cut up pretty badly.
Oh.
Okay. And as a result of her injuries, she lost the feeling in her right hand. And,
Oh, wow.
You know, and permanent stuff. Okay. So of course she filed for workman's comp.
Right.
But she also sued the patient and sued her employer.
No. I think I agree with the ruling then.
Yeah. You do.
Because when I worked psych, one of the major things is that you've got to know, don't go into any patient's room by yourself. Walk the halls with a purpose. Don't look down. Look authoritative. Don't
like prison
look
guard
like you're a
kinda.
threat. I guess so.
Don't look them in the eye.
Don't stare at them.
Don't make eye contact.
Don't stare at them.
Do you
And
follow
I
those
got
rules
some really
with me?
funny stories, but yeah, don't stare at them.
Any stories you want to tell right now?
No.
No. Okay.
I told you guys the stories actually. You just don't remember.
I know. I don't remember.
But it's okay.
From
But yeah,
feedback.
you do. You got to know what you're doing and where you at. And I think that the risk, there's risks in a lot of jobs, and you know that going in.
They're not making it. I have a friend that lives in Ventura that is a caregiver to Alzheimer patients. She's not like making a.
She is not making no money.
No, she's not.
No. It's a CNA.
Yeah, and the only thing you have to fall back on is, I guess, just workman's comp.
Yeah, 3/4 your income, and no feeling in your hand.
Right.
Wow.
So that kind of sucks.
It does.
But you got to know what you're choosing as far as your job, your career.
I don't know. Maybe they should post a bond or something. Something's weird about this.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
You don't agree with the ruling?
Not really.
What?
I'm not sure that I do.
If you get a job driving a truck, you know that you might get an accident at some point, right?
You're basically saying if you have Alzheimer's, you have immunity.
No, it says if you have Alzheimer's, treat them like your foster child and lock up the knives, idiot.
Yeah.
Because they, you know what I mean? They're stealth, man. They're old and they don't make much noise anymore. So they coming up behind you, you don't even know.
See, we really missed you yesterday.
Sorry.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, we really did. Facebook went down last Friday
Yeah.
in the morning.
Oh, I thought it was our internet.
No, Facebook went down last Friday.
Okay.
And it was funny because LA County 911 was jammed.
Because don't say because Facebook went.
Yep.
Oh.
People call 911 because Facebook went down.
That's an emergency.
Jammed the 911 lines.
That's an emergency.
Okay?
Are we that stupid?
Okay. They jammed it so much that LASD put out over 20 tweets. Okay?
You've
And
got to be
postings.
kidding me.
Okay?
People called. I would love to hear a 911 caller.
The LASD put out notices. They said, you got to stop calling us. Okay? Because you're tying up all our lines. All right?
They
And
probably
said,
thought it was the beginning of the end of the world. If
people
Facebook went
did.
down.
They couldn't believe the amount of volume of calls that they were getting.
Is something going on? Because Facebook is down. I'm just wondering if there's an emergency somewhere in the world.
People were
How
calling.
about CNN?
People were
You
calling.
know, just like turn on the
Facebook
news.
is down. 911, what's your emergency? Facebook is down.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Do something.
How am I going to know what that girl I knew in high school had for breakfast?
Right.
You know?
Man.
It's an emergency.
I did see that, but I thought it was my internet. You know how sometimes you'll get that blue screen and it'll say, if it's you, press continue? And I'm pressing continue, then they want my password again. I'm like, you think I remember that all the time?
I didn't even know it was down.
I didn't either.
I don't know how you didn't know.
I didn't know.
That's amazing.
I didn't know.
Isn't that amazing that
Yeah, it
he
is.
didn't know?
Sure is.
Yeah, I had no idea. And I'm already... What is the date today? Today is, the 5th, okay? I've got 20 more days in this cycle on my cell phone bill.
Oh, dear.
And I just got a notice just 5 seconds ago
What?
that I'm already 80% used up on my
I don't know.
stupid data plan.
I don't know what's going on with your plan.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong because today's the 5th.
I'm in
And
big trouble.
when's your cycle date?
The 25th. I'm never going to make it.
There's a term for that. You want me to tell you what it is?
No. Yeah. What?
They're going up in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm in big trouble.
No lubrication.
Oh, you didn't have to put that part in. Good gosh. Yeah, I'm in big trouble. This is terrible.
Yeah.
This is going to cost me.
They're doing this is a ploy. This is what they do to people that utilize all their data on a regular. They start bombarding you with these things because they know that at some point you're going to break and call and upgrade your plan. So I'm telling you, this is what they're doing here.
They're mad. One, because my contract's over.
Oh yes, honey.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it's part of the plan.
It is.
Get ready.
Yeah, I know. I'm. Yeah, they're getting me. It's terrible. Did you see that shooting on the 91 freeway yesterday? Road rage.
Passed out.
Oh, you were? Yeah, this happened when you were probably sleeping. It was around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Okay. Well, I thought you passed out.
Yeah.
What?
Out.
What? One demerit for Steve? What did I do? What did I do?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Uh-oh. Did I tell you I missed you yesterday? Okay. Does that help me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday, there's an argument between two guys. On the... Oh, wow. Whoops.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What happened?
I'm not doing good. Anyway, an argument between two guys on the 91 freeway. Guy pulls out a gun and just...
How do you have time to argue? Oh, it's bumper to bumper crazy?
Yeah, in road rage. Pulls out a gun and just unloads his magazine.
He kills him.
No, he didn't. Okay.
Oh, he's a cop?
No, but the driver of the car that was being shot at, he was hit at least once in the upper body.
The driver of the car,
At least once. Called 911, continued to follow the guy that shot him. Okay? And then Highway Patrol caught up with all of them. Okay? And they arrested this. But you don't know who's got guns.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No.
You got to be very careful.
Yeah, you do. And I tried. We all make mistakes that will piss off somebody's, driving next to you. And I really try not to look at them. And sometimes I've gotten to the point where let me just look at you to tell you I'm sorry because I realize that I cut you off.
And that goes a long way.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't. It's hysterical because this woman just started screaming at me. And I said, did you hear that I said I'm sorry? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, wow, well, you work it out. And then I just continued on. But I was like, wow. Road rage is a real thing.
It is a real thing. Yeah, you got to be calm.
And I was smiling, rolling down my window. So I'm so sorry. Just losing it.
I told you about way back in the day, didn't I? With me, I've gotten so much better with my road rage. But back when I had the Yugo, I never told you that story. I was driving. I was going from Lancaster to Palmdale.
And you can't have road rage in Antelope Valley.
Oh, well, I did.
That just don't make sense.
So I'm on 10th Street West, and it's before they widened it, and it went from 2 lanes down to 1, and this woman cut me off and ran me into the dirt.
Ooh.
And I was mad. So, it was a summer day. I had all the windows down. She had her windows down. And I stayed right on her. And it opened up again, and I got to the left of her. And I had a riding crop in the car. Don't ask me.
I'm not going to ask you. Because I read 50 Shades of Grey.
So I took the riding crop out, and I got up next to her. I just, paced myself right along with her, and I reached my arm, because the Yugo's small, reached around there, and whack! Right in her shoulder.
And she said, thank you.
She went off in the dirt, and yep. And I drove on.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
May I have another? Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you something. I was taking my oldest boy to high school one day in Burbank, and we stopped at a stop sign. And I was a little bit over the white limit line, right?
Uh-oh.
2 kids were walking past, and I guess he didn't like the fact that he had to kind of walk around the front of my car.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
God forbid.
And Burbank High School was right down the street, so I was actually in my robe, okay,
Nice.
driving my son to school. And this kid couldn't have been more than 15 and pulled a gun on me.
No.
Yeah, it's a true story. Pointed a gun right at me.
You should have ran his ass right over.
Right at me.
I'd have been like, ugh, he scared me so bad. I just put my foot on
foot slipped off the brake.
Yeah, that's pretty out of control. And that was back in 1980, I don't know, 7.
And that's...
Yeah, pretty
And
pretty
did you take your son to school?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wasn't he heading towards school? The kid with the gun?
No, he was going a different direction.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I took my son to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this kid's on his way to school. You're taking your son to school. Kid with the gun. I'm turning around, calling the school.
Yeah, out of control. Way out of control. So, yeah, it scared the hell out of me. More new information came out from the Pico Rivera barricade shooting that happened a couple of days ago. If you don't know about it, Angie, there was sheriff's officers were looking for a felon parolee, okay? On a warrant, okay? Felony warrant. They caught up with the guy in a neighborhood. He ran into a house, okay? He had a lot of weapons, including an AR-15.
Oh, they need to get him.
He ran into a house, okay? Inside the house was a father and 3 kids, all right? Now there's a big shootout. The ex-con's name is Cedric Ramirez. Looks like a gangster, is a gangster, has been basically in and out of prison his entire adult life, okay? The owner, and he's 24 years old, okay?
The owner, Cedric is.
The owner of the house is 54 years old, all right? They don't look anything alike, all right?
Oh.
Now,
all right.
There's a big gunfire battle, all right? And at one point, you hear somebody yell from inside the house, "Stop shooting, there's kids inside the effing house."
You idiot.
Okay?
Yes. Because why would they blindly shoot inside a house?
Because the bad guy, they didn't know what's going on in there, but the bad guy just ran into the house, and he's got an AR-15, he's shooting out.
I get it, but is it standard protocol just to shoot back? Because you don't even know whose house he ran into.
I think it's relative standard protocol that if the guy's there shooting at you, you're going to shoot back. You don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't have those answers. Anyway.
Should shelter in place until you know what's going on inside
That's what I'm thinking. Like, there's kids in the house.
The front door opens, okay, and 3 kids come out. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and they're brought out into safety. Deputies grab these kids. Okay? Bad guy, Cedric, is still in the house. Okay? And at some area in the house is also Frank Mendoza, the father, okay, who owns the house.
Why didn't he leave?
He did. He came out next.
And they shot his ass dead.
And they killed him.
Yep.
They shot his...
Shh. They shot him. One deputy fired 2 rounds and killed him. Okay? Hours later, they got Cedric. Okay?
And they're going to say he did it.
Now, Cedric looks like a gangster. His neck has those 6-inch tall tattoos.
Well, they knew what he looked like because they were looking for him.
Yeah.
Right.
So there'd be no reason to get the older Latino dude.
Unless it was a deputy that rolled up that wasn't part of the probe to try to get him and didn't know what he looked like.
Steve.
I'm not making excuses because I said yesterday, if you knew what he looked like, how are you shooting the wrong guy?
Steve, if the man came out and didn't have a gun in his hand, what are you shooting him for?
I know. I know. I know.
I'm quiet because you would be mad at me if I said what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to say bad words.
I'm going to say a lot of them.
Okay, yeah, don't.
Okay, I won't say bad words. Let me be articulate in saying that cop needs to lose his job and go to jail. The family of Mendoza needs to make this a huge focal point and sue all the clothes off of the police department.
The sheriff's department already is taking full responsibility. They already know their role.
You can't not take full... Well,
I'm
you
just
can.
telling you, okay?
You can because they do that often. But it's like, how many times do you have to let your deputies fall into it before you roll it back a bit and really get somebody that can train them? Because you see on TV all the time, you put these cops in scenarios and you throw up these billboards and they're supposed to know which ones not to shoot. Yeah. They clearly, they must have stopped doing that training because they need to roll it back in. Yeah. That poor man is minding his business in the house with 3 kids and he ends up losing his life because the people that are to protect and serve kill him?
Protect.
That's so sad.
It's a very sad story, and LASD said, there aren't words enough to express.
You can't even express it. You just need to just realize this is why you have the rep that you have. This is exactly why. Because you guys are making major adolescent mistakes that we're thinking that you should be way beyond because you're the professionals. But you guys keep on making these kind of mistakes, and it's just disgusting. It really is disgusting. Is the cop at least off duty? Is he paid at home somewhere?
I don't have that answer. Okay, and no one has talked to that point yet. The officer that fired
and the kids got to see that.
His name hasn't been
Grandpa
released.
just dead. But that's Grandpa.
Yeah. Now he still had another hostage in the house. Okay.
And she was not coming. He, she, whatever was not coming out now. Why would you come out?
SWAT team rushed the house, killed him, and freed her. Okay. Yeah, it's an awful story. It's a terrible, awful story. And LASD says, we're grieving for you, and we don't know what to do.
Just shut up with that grieving. Nobody believe in that crap. Nobody's believe. I'm just keeping it real. Nobody's believing that you're grieving. No. Nobody's believing it. Yep. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's a crappy story. It is. It is, and that's
This is exactly why the perception is what. Don't be surprised. Don't.
Well, look at, and I'm still waiting to find out what is going to happen in New York. Okay, with that guy.
I was so wanting to get your take on
Eric
that.
Gartner.
Yeah. Okay. Now the guy that shot the video has been arrested.
Stop.
Yeah.
For what?
See, we missed you on the show.
Yeah.
yesterday.
See that.
What did he get arrested for? There was a couple of videos. So if they didn't get this one, I mean, there was one from inside the store.
I think it was the outside.
One from the outside the store.
His was the video. It was the main one. Okay.
Why did he get arrested?
He was arrested Saturday night.
He was selling Lucy's too?
No, he he was coming out of a hotel. I think it's called the Roosevelt Hotel. He was coming out of a hotel that is known for drug trafficking. And it just so happens, okay, that NYPD, that they happened to be there staking out the hotel, right?
Just happened.
Looking for drug traffickers. And they saw him walk out of the hotel.
Is he a drug dealer?
He did have drugs on him, but he also had a weapon. And they saw him take the weapon and put it in the waistband of his female partner that was with him.
That's a man.
Okay? She's only 17.
Oh.
Okay?
Wow.
They saw all of this. They claimed they didn't know it was him. And
of course.
It just it was coincidental.
That face wasn't seared in all of their heads.
This is the second time that he's had a weapons charge. Okay, he's known to the police department, and so he's now in jail. Coincidentally,
I think they're gonna not mess with that guy, because if he ends up dead or on the wrong side of injury, it's gonna be even worse for the police department.
But you don't know what other videos or what other stuff he had shot. But it's probably on his cell phone, which is probably in property.
Oh, but that's okay, because it's viral 10 times over. And so is the one inside the store. And the one inside the store, for me, is even worse. Because you're just, they're just hitting the guy like he's a fish flopping.
Yeah, you know that.
Like, come on, dude. Come on, breathe.
What was his name that died?
Eric Gardner.
Yeah, you know that his death was officially ruled a homicide.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm waiting to find out how that's going to get handled.
Yeah, and what are the charges going to be? Like, how could all of those other cops just stand around? And it just makes me think, how many other people have they killed? Because no one looked surprised, no one looked taken back, no one looked at all concerned. They were like, "Come, hurry up and get the EMS here so she could act like she's doing something." And they had already told her he's dead. Because the way she comes up, like, okay, put him on the board. What happened to taking the shirt off, putting the straps on, putting the machine, let's see where his rhythm is, jolt, whatever. None of that. His eyes was fixed. It wasn't even like he was blinking at all. He was dead already.
Yep.
So the coroner also spoke to something about, not only his airway, but also spoke to something about his chest being compressed. Okay. I don't know, but I'm waiting to see how New York's going to handle that.
And the handcuffs stayed on the man.
Didn't at one point, but toward the end, didn't they take them off?
I think right before they put him on the gurney.
They took them off. Yeah,
but that flipping and flopping the dead fish, he had his handcuffs on. And
the officer was saying, "Come on, wake up, breathe." Yeah, that's.
And he's like, "Oh, I got to hold him over. He's going to fall over." And they knew. It was like, hold him this way, because if he falls down, it's going to be obvious that dude is not with us. Because he'd have fell just dead, because that's what he was.
But no new news is coming of that case right now. Everything's quiet.
Yeah, because they don't want to riot.
Everything is quiet. And Al Sharpton is in charge.
Oh, and you know what? He's a lot different than he was in the 80s. Age has calmed him a little bit, thankfully. But he definitely goes for anything that he sees that's ain't looking right. But he's a lot more calm
today. Less. No, I forget. I'm not gonna say that.
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, I forgot.
Steve.
I forgot.
You didn't forget. Look at that. Huh? Less what, Steve? Just say it.
No. Anyway. Okay.
Moving on.
No. Moving on. So the LAPD has now taken some heat.
I don't like that.
Well, I was just going to say militant.
Oh. No. My favorite word.
Yeah. I like to use that word. I always use it out of context.
LAPD, you gotta look at the picture, Angie.
Okay.
Picture. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. LAPD is taking a lot of heat for a lot of things. Now, Charlie Beck is going for a reappointment. He wants to be chief for another term.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, his term...
no nepotism there.
His term... they have to vote on his term and make an announcement by August 12th. Okay? Now, a couple of things with the LAPD. One... It was just discovered yesterday that the Los Angeles Police Department's civilian watchdog group is investigating the circumstances surrounding. LAPD has a mounted division with horses, right? And the LAPD, the Police Foundation, that's the foundation that raises a lot of money, okay, to go out and do certain things like buy horses and all that stuff.
Why do they need them, though?
Yeah, well,
crowd control.
It can be crowd control. It can be search and rescue. Sheriff's Department. Well, the gun's not going to carry up a mountain.
Oh, okay.
You need a horse for that,
all right.
okay? And all kinds of stuff. They recently purchased a horse for $6,000 that was owned by Police Chief Beck's daughter.
Yeah.
They spent $6,000 on this horse.
Is that a going rate for a horse?
That sounds about right.
They claim that the horse really was valued at about $8,500, but there were a lot of horses looked at, okay? But hers was the one purchased, okay? Hers was the one bought.
Is that a problem?
Well, they're kind of thinking it is a problem.
Because it's back.
There's a pattern, though. It's
right.
not just this one thing.
Because he's also had issues with his son. There is something a little bit weird going on.
She's also a cop, and she's doing pretty well.
Oh, she is a cop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And not only is she a cop, but she rides in the mounted division. So now she can ride her own horse that she just sold.
See, you didn't break it down to me.
Kind of interesting. Now,
so
they
what
claim
she did, what she did was she made $5,000, $6,000 on board and care, because that's her horse.
It's like renting your own car to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except you got to pay me for it, and I get to drive it.
Yeah.
They claim that the sale was done blindly,
Yeah.
and that it is typical that people say, well, wait a minute, why didn't you disclose who owned the horse?
Why isn't there a rule, just a common rule, that if you're a cop or if you might be riding a horse, you can't submit an animal for sale? Then you could go with the blind.
Well, they claim that, look, all the horses were put up. We had an independent person look at all of the horses, okay?
All right.
Okay.
And that independent person already knew number 17 was a good. You just have to go with 17. Don't ask questions, but that's the one, You can get the other ones, I don't care which. With 17, you got to get.
The independent person happens to be a large donor to the LAPD
Foundation. Of course.
Anyway.
It just gets better.
They claim that Charlie Beck, he recused himself and he had nothing to do with it.
It's like a little clan.
Okay.
It's like a little clan. Without the hoods.
If you had to rate him as a police chief, what would you rate him? Or do you say, I don't have enough information to make a...
Well, just based on the little... Yeah, I would say that I don't have enough information. Because all I get is negatives. So don't ask me now. I mean, you gotta give me some positives, but I think that there's definitely a kickback situation. That's very common.
Nepotism.
That's very common with everybody. You know what I mean? If you go to a place of employment and you happen to know somebody, you're gonna see, can I get a deal, whatever. I mean, that's what people do.
Okay, following that part up of the LAPD.
Here we go.
Okay,
now it's getting better.
The LAPD now is refusing to release information on their murder statistics. They will not make them public. Here's what happened, okay?
Why? Because too many of them are done by the cops?
No.
Going back, wow.
I don't understand.
I just sit next to her. I don't necessarily share her views, okay?
We need a disclaimer.
I'm just next to her.
Well, I'm just trying to understand why you wouldn't want to tell the stats.
And my car's red.
The views of the commentators. Strictly
every year, law enforcement across the country release statistics on how many cases they've solved. Mm-hmm. Okay?
You almost said they've done.
No, they've solved. All right? Charlie Beck and the LAPD had offered to release their information.
Mm-hmm. And then they saw the numbers. It's like,
And the numbers that they had, national average is about 70%. Okay? The numbers that they had were around 38, 39%.
Ooh.
Okay? And they said, but we haven't posted.
It's almost like their aim.
Yeah, but we haven't 38 or 39 out of 100. LAPD said, but we haven't finished, posting all of our records. The numbers are going to be way higher.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be close to 80%. Mm-hmm. All right? So news media says, okay.
That's such bull. That's such bull, because it's like when you accumulate numbers, it's a couple keystrokes. Gather all this information. This column I want to reflect this. You don't have. It's all in the computer. Where are you getting more data from?
Well, that's what's interesting. It's not necessarily in the computer here, though. Okay?
Oh.
Because
they need to add another state that's got better numbers.
No, what they do, for instance, okay, there are about 14 different pieces of information and or documents that law enforcement needs to declare the case solved and closed, okay? 14 different. And they could come from, one of the documents could be from Virginia, okay? Mm-hmm. Maybe it was from Quantico, maybe it was from another crime lab, whatever it is, okay? Mm-hmm. So they have documents all over the country, okay? And they all have to go into this central back-end kind of computer file.
Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you're saying that this murder is solved, then you know who's done it, and it's stamped solved. Like, why do you need a document? That's part of the trial stuff. What do you mean? That doesn't make sense.
Because that's the way that it works. There's a lot of checks and balances.
That's some bull.
Okay.
That's some bull. What happened was, let me just break it down. They put the keystrokes in. The graph came back. It was below zero probably, and they were like, okay, we need to change what we're qualifying as a successful, murder case. We have to change the criteria for that. Then they have to go in there, rewrite the code, and then throw it in again. And they're just trying to keep on rewriting the code. Now, if we got a document from a DNA lab that don't necessarily solve the crime, but maybe if we have DNA, we're going to classify that as a solved murder case. We just haven't seen the murderer yet. They're backing it in to make the numbers better, so that they don't look as bad as they are. Because what you just said doesn't sound like it makes any sense at all.
Okay.
Do I make any sense, Jeff?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. There is a form.
See, here we go. What you need a form for?
There is a form that's called...
Just take the head counts of all the guys that are in jail for murder.
Yeah.
Then that will tell you all the people that are in jail for murder in 2013 tells you how many murder cases you solved.
Okay.
Yeah, can't they go with the court records who got, the convictions and be done with it there?
No, because now they got to just put in all the DNA that they got. It's not necessarily traced, but that's a solved case. We just need to come across the guy.
It would be impossible for news media to be able to follow every murder case in every court, because we just don't have access to all of it. Okay?
Right.
So law enforcement is typically required, okay, to post your statistics every year, okay? Now, so for Charlie Beck's first 2 years, okay, the original posting was 38 to 39%, but then he held a news conference and he said, when we finish completing our records, we're going to be above 70, closer to 80%.
Cooking the books.
All right.
It's like Breaking Bad.
And he had offered to open the books to news media so they could inspect the records. All right? Now they say, we're not going to let you look at the records. And so news media said, well, hold on. There's a simple form for every murder case, and it's used around the country, and it's Form 314, and that describes how the detectives close the case, by arresting a suspect or by other means. Maybe he's dead or, whatever, okay? Will you release that? Just release that for every murder case. No. It contains confidential information.
What's confidential? The murderer or the dead person?
But, okay.
White out the cop.
Okay. But Deputy Chief Kirk Albanese says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put together all the records, okay? And we will make them available to everybody.
For 10 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
on August 13th.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. That's the day after Charlie Beck is supposed to get another nod to continue for another 2 years as police chief. That's a day after. And they won't do it until the 13th. What do you think about that?
What do you think about it, Steve? Because I tend to always... What's your gut on this activity here in law enforcement?
LAPD says that by releasing Form 314, there's confidential information in there. And so we can't, because there are certain things in there that we can't release, okay? So media went back and said, redact the confidential things.
Right. Because we
LAPD
just want to know...
says it'll take too long.
Yeah, because they're full of shit.
Okay.
Because that's a keystroke. I mean, we're in the age of computers. It's not like you got, 900 boxes and the girl with the whiteout has to go through every page and go like this. It's keystrokes.
I'm just telling you.
Man. Well, what's your gut telling you, Steve?
I think it's kind of funky. Mm-hmm. And I also think, I don't understand why, as you go, okay, there's somebody in a room that says solved.
Yes.
In a computer. Unsolved. Right?
Murder solved.
Right.
Yeah. Or just take the head counts of the people in jail.
Right. And then at the end of the day, they batch it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Well, I don't know. They're having issues.
Excel seems to work across the nation. I don't understand why it ain't working for the police department.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. Paul Tanaka's in the news.
Yeah.
He's opening up in Vegas?
No. Yeah, he's going to headline. No, he's in the news because his last paycheck
was short.
No.
Okay.
He was the second highest paid employee in the state.
Oh.
And his last paycheck, total dollars, in 2013 was $591,000.
And that was net?
I don't know if it was net. No, that was gross. $591,000.
Oh.
Okay?
I mean, what's the president make?
Not that much.
Something's wrong.
Well, here's the thing.
Can we get Bell in here?
Paul Tanaka started with the Sheriff's Department as a jailer in 1982. Okay? Back then, when he began, okay, like AT&T has rollover minutes, well, you had rollover vacation time and sick days, okay? And he continued to accrue that over and over and over again, okay, to where his sick time and sick days amounted to about $339,000 in back pay.
So, are you telling me that the police department isn't savvy enough to pay out sick days and obligate people to use their vacation time every year? They let them roll that over?
Well,
like
currently...
That's like the dumbest crap ever in the world.
Right. Currently now, okay, it doesn't roll over. Okay?
But his happened to.
Because it was
grandfather.
A grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay?
So we're going to pass this one, but it don't apply to me.
Right. When he left the Sheriff's Department, okay, his standard salary was $261,000 a year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And there's more than one guy in the Sheriff's Department making that much in that area. That's a boatload of money.
Yeah, well, the leader of the Klan has to make a lot of money.
So, yeah, okay.
Steve drives a red car.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm only sitting next to her. Okay?
Whatever. If you find me dead somewhere, it's because I speak the truth.
His,
beat me up because you don't have enough money.
His holiday and sick pays amounted to 137 days, or 40% of the total payout that he got. That's a lot of money.
It is. That's ridiculous.
That's a lot of money. I'm still waiting to see an indictment for Paul Tanaka.
Well, he's going to need this money's going to go quick in legal fees.
He's putting a lot of that money in his campaign.
You're kidding. You got to be kidding. Oh, he done already made a deal.
He's not going to win.
He can't be... Well, we know he's not going to win. But he can't be silly enough to think that he's not going to be indicted. Like, I think that he's more savvy than that. He's got to have made some calls and said, hey, remember what I did for you? You're not calling me, right? You're not looking at me, right? He has to.
By comparison, though, the other candidate that is running for L.A. County Sheriff in November, Jim McDonald, who's currently the Long Beach Police Chief, but he was with the LAPD. When he retired from the LAPD in 2010, after 28 years, he cashed out all of his unused sick time, vacation time, and overtime hours. Okay? And that only amounted to $90,000 over 28 years. Okay?
Well, you did something wrong.
Okay? No, Tanaka had a sweetheart deal. I mean, that's a great deal.
Tanaka had his own deal.
It was legal.
Of course, honey.
It was legal. It was not like the people in Bell.
It's just legal. As disturbing. It really is. With a 38% success rate in murder convictions. And you're going to pay this man out like he did something.
No, that's LAPD.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. LASD.
I just lump them all together.
I think LASD is much higher. Hey, I did a little research the other day. AB 60, Assembly Bill 60, that is the assembly bill that has been passed to provide illegal immigrants with a driver's license in the state of California. Okay? I did a little research.
That's still crazy.
Because I wanted to know how difficult it will be. You just walk into the office and get one. This is not going to be easy.
I don't know why you would do it. It's like putting a big old stamp on your forehead. Here, come get me. INS when you're bored.
It does kind of look like, it does look a little bit like it's an information gathering system, okay?
Yeah.
And basically they want to know who's out there, okay? It does kind of look like that. Because here's what you need, okay? Option number one, okay? If you're here in the country illegally, option number one is you need a foreign document approved by the DMV, which would be a current Mexican federal electoral card. Okay?
It ain't going to be current because I snuck out like 10 years ago.
Okay, if you don't have that...
That's stupid, number one. Okay, next.
If you don't have that, okay, then you need a foreign document approved by the DMV, which would be a Guatemalan national ID card, or...
You mean to tell me option one is for Mexicans and option two is for Guatemalans?
No, hold on. Or a Peruvian identification card, or a valid foreign passport, okay, or one federal government ID card with a current photo, or an Ecuadorian consular card, Guatemalan consular card, or a Mexican consular card. Now, say you can't do that.
Okay, they can't have any of that.
Okay.
Both options are done already.
Now we'll move to something a little bit more lenient. How about an expired foreign passport?
Yeah, that should be number one.
Okay? We'll go with that. Okay? Or a foreign birth certificate. Okay? If you
That's
got that.
what it should be. Like all that other stuff is stupid.
Okay.
They don't. Who leaves their country with documents? You don't, because you want to be able to look like you fit in. You don't want to get searched and say, you got your driver's license in Mexico and say, no, I live down the street.
Right, because you want to be able to give a fake name.
Right.
Right? Okay. Option number 4, though, okay? If an applicant is unable to comply with option 1, 2, or 3, he or she may interview with a DMV investigator who will attempt to verify the applicant's identity. Okay?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
The DMV investigative staff may consider the following documents.
Baptism.
Official school or college transcript. They'll go with that. Okay? A U.S. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, Form I-589, which is an application for asylum. Okay? A marriage license?
From where?
I don't care. Anyway,
okay, so that's it, babe. Get your marriage license out.
A divorce decree, a foreign driver's license, an income tax return, well, you know they're not going to have that, right?
Well, I have it. It's me. I worked it, but it's just not my number.
Okay. And number 8 is the best one. Number 8 is the best. Other unknown documents to be approved by the DMV in the future. We have no idea what they're going to be.
Yeah.
Okay?
You know, whoever typed that out was just laughing, saying, "This is some bullshit."
This is actually a requirement in the Assembly bill. And then in addition to all of that stuff, you're also going to need one of the following. You need a rental or a lease agreement of where you currently live.
Is it legal to lease to someone that's not legally here?
Yes.
That's stupid, number one. If you wanna get people to stop coming, make it illegal to rent to them.
Do you think that... Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think if... No, let me start this over again. Let's say, for example, you have a corporation. And let's say that you haven't complied with whatever. Maybe you haven't filed a tax return or you haven't done something. So the state suspends your corporation, okay? You now, because your corporation is suspended, you have no standing right to sue in Superior Court, and you cannot defend a lawsuit. Because you can't. Because your corporation is not an entity right now.
So then you can't sue me either then.
You can't do either, okay? I say that only because, now, if you're in the country illegally, okay? So you're not allowed to be here. Are you able to file a lawsuit in Superior Court?
You shouldn't be.
Do you know you are?
Of course you are, because this is a good old United States of America.
You can.
I mean, we should just be... We're so backwards.
Now, say you're in the country illegally. You're performing work for a guy, and he doesn't give you your last paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay? That you don't pay taxes on anyway. Okay?
That you're not supposed to get.
So you go to sue him. You have a standing right to file a lawsuit in Superior Court.
Right, because that's stupid.
Whether you're here legally or illegally.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
That's kind of a weird kind of thing.
It's just dumb.
I actually had to research that too. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Well, but don't you think that we might minimize the families that are coming over if we say that it's illegal to rent to people that are not legal residents or Americans?
But
if you go to some of these apartment buildings, and I can point them out if you want, and say, okay, all your residents, you need to make sure that they're legally able to be here. It would clear the building.
That'd be discrimination.
Yeah, and not only
it's
that,
not discrimination.
It
should be law. It should be law. Why are you renting to somebody that's not supposed to be here legally? How do you sign in contract with someone that's not supposed to be here legally?
Because they can, because they have the ability in Superior Court to enter into a lawsuit.
But that's retarded.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Did you see my face? Please.
Yeah. Anyway, but it does seem like the state of California and or the federal government is compiling information.
Oh yeah.
Okay. By AB 60 to keep track, because then what they're looking for is, in addition to all that other stuff, you have to have a rental or a lease agreement of where you live, or a deed of title to your residential property, because you can buy property.
Oh, that's even makes more sense.
Here.
How do you get a credit rating if you're illegal?
Okay, here's the thing. You know how if your driver's license is suspended, you can still go to an insurance company and they will sell you insurance, auto insurance.
For liability only on the car. How could they do that?
Because they're getting free money. Because the policy, no matter what accident you have,
it's voided the minute.
Is void because your license wasn't good. So they just got free money. Okay? If you buy property and you have a mortgage payment, okay, especially if you just recently bought property, you are going to be able to write off all of your interest, which is probably going to be about 95% of your first few years' payments, okay? but you're not filing taxes because you don't have a Social Security number, so then you can't write it off, so therefore the government doesn't have to pay off. So now everything is enrichment.
Everybody wins.
Okay? Everybody wins. It's all about
when you go
greed.
for a loan for the house, you don't have to have a Social Security number. How do they get your credit rating? How do you get a credit rating if you're illegal?
You need it to get
You need it on
an EIN number.
You need it on a 10 too. It's on the document. You have to put it in.
It's not on your Articles of Incorporation.
No, because it's on the other documents that you had to fill out
For the IRS.
Articles. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
So how do you do that how do you open a business if you're illegal? One of the startup forms is requiring your Social Security.
You use a TIN number instead of
No, what I'm saying is before the TIN number, you need to provide your Social Security. Then you get the TIN, then you could use the TIN on the other docs.
Why do you need a TIN if you have a Social Security number?
Because you don't want to use your TIN with your business because supposedly, if you screwed up your personal credit with your Social Security and you've applied for a TIN, then that TIN number, now it's like your second chance. I mean, I
Did you do a little research on
that? I don't know nothing about it, but that's what I hear that you could do. Why you gotta grin at me like
that? Yeah, that's funny. You're good.
I'm just saying, when you spend a little too much.
A little too much. Yep. There you go. There you go. All of the people that had cars at Pauley Pavilion and Jackie Robinson Stadium can all begin picking up their cars today. Out of the cars that have been there, about 90% of them will forever be undrivable.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'd like to be the closest detailer to that place.
So, does your insurance cover flood? Your car insurance?
Well, this is the thing. LADWP has said, we are going to pay off, okay? We will cover every car, all right? And you can go to their website. There is a form to get the process started. And you should be able to collect your money maybe in 8 months to a year, okay?
I mean, really? Really?
Really, really, okay? There is a process to this. Well, think about it. And I know there are going to be people that are going to claim their car was damaged.
Well, I mean,
even if the car wasn't there.
But it's not a rocket scientist. You have somebody from the DMV go down there and you get the TINs on all those cars.
Well, that's the thing. But they're under mud, so they couldn't do that, okay?
No, before you get to pull your car out, we have to get your TIN.
VIN.
Yeah. I was back to my credit. Your VIN number. They
got to do something like that, right?
Yeah, and that would make the process very easy because as you're pulling it out, you don't even have to have that person fill out the form. This is the VIN number, and this is the car that we need to cover.
Right.
I mean, it could be very easy.
And DWP is not in the business of selling insurance or anything, so now they have to contract with another agency that needs to then verify the car, and then they got to run to see who has title on it. Then they have to physically inspect it. Then they have to determine
it's money.
Then they have to determine its value. Then it's going to have to go to another.
It meant the world to me because I was in school, and that's the only way that I could get to school and my job at McDonald's.
Right.
And now you're telling me it's going to take a year for me to be able to get to my job and
minimum 6 months. And they're going to try to do the best that they can.
No, that's full of crap. They said, let's draw this out so that we can start increasing the prices for water and power to offset the amount of money that we're going to have to pay out for those cars. Because it's not coming out of their profit. You already know that.
Well, I know.
It's coming out of their pocket, DMV users.
It's going to go back to the city of LA.
No,
because there is no fund for this.
This is DWP. DWP is going to get it from the people who are paying those bills. The surcharges are going to start coming.
You can't raise.
They will do it. Why is it so expensive to have water and power in the San Fernando Valley, and it's not that much here? Why is it so? Why do I pay a small amount, but I can go around 3 blocks and people are losing their homes on paying for water and power?
There are people up here losing their homes that can't afford just the water.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So obviously we're dealing with a system that's gouging people.
Okay. Well, so anyway, there's a process to get your car. Okay, it's not going to be an easy process. Okay. Most of the cars were buried, totally buried. There were a few where the water was only up to the top of the wheels. But if your car was full of water, it's ruined. Totally ruined. So they get to pick up their cars starting today. Okay? And you got to pay for that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have trip, now you got to pay to get it towed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like with your regular car insurance, can you just file a claim and let the insurance company fight with them to get reimbursed and get your car?
I don't know. Because I don't know if you want to file a claim and total out your car, if that's going to ding you. Does that ding you, Jeff?
Why would it ding your what?
I don't know.
Your driving record?
Yeah, you're not supposed to use that insurance.
You want to try not to.
But you can't afford to wait 6 months to a year for the DMV to give you. I mean, the DMV to give you a car.
It's a deal. I don't know. It's a deal. There's a thing. Jodi Arias, remember Jodi Arias? Mm-hmm. She's back in the news.
Oh.
She's going in here. And this is the girl that killed her boyfriend. Okay, and not only did she kill him, but she stabbed him 30 times. Mm-hmm. She slit his throat and then shot him in the forehead.
Hey.
Okay? And they couldn't figure out whether or not they wanted to give her the death penalty or not.
That's the phase she's in now. Okay.
No, I thought they said no death penalty.
No, that actually is the phase she's in right now.
Okay.
It's a new jury, okay, and now it is the death penalty phase, okay? And she submitted a brief to the court. She said she wants to represent herself.
Oh, Lord.
She wants to be her own attorney.
Jodi.
The judge agreed to let her be her own attorney. Oh. And a lot of people across the country, especially the legal minds, think she's very smart for doing this.
Smart.
Because if they do her wrong, then she could say, I wasn't represented properly?
Because she's a nut, okay? Mm-hmm. She is a nut. But all she needs to do is make some kind of a connection with one juror, okay, that says, yes, she's definitely guilty, there's no question about that, but I don't think she should get the death penalty. Just one juror, wink at him, blow kisses, whatever she's got to do.
You don't even have to do any of that. That's going to be so easy because you're going to become a human being instead of the monster that's sitting in that chair over there. You're talking to the jury people. You might even brush their hands as you're giving them documents and stuff. Lord have mercy. That would be really hard for me.
Some guy may think she's cute.
Oh,
I'm just telling you, okay?
No, I just think that she's going to make herself human.
She's been making herself smart. She just got her DED while she's been in jail.
Really?
Yeah. Really. And the brief that she submitted to the court...
Look what it took.
Okay. Was good. A lot of people say, yes, she's a vicious psychopath, but...
Oh, yeah.
She's got 12 jurors. All she needs to do is make some sort of a connection with one, just one, that says,
look what she could
no, don't kill her.
Look at the good that she could do in jail with her newly acquired credentials.
What's she going to do?
She could counsel people.
She's a nut. What do you mean? She'll make a bunch of nutcases. It'd be terrible.
She can counsel them.
Oh, well, I don't know. I know we're out of time.
Yes.
And so our show is done for the day, but we will be back tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, August 5th. It's 9 o'clock. Thanks for listening to our show and making us the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Chronic Beats.